Forests are full of spectacular life and death. This fertile, three-dimensional world is a killing zone, where super specialist predators thrive by being built for the kill. Trees evolved some 300 million years ago, and today forests cover almost 30% of Earth's land surface. They are the great storehouses of natural life. Some forests are like hot and humid greenhouses, while others are cold and hostile places. But whatever the climate, all the layers of the forest, from the treetops right down to the forest floor, are teeming with wildlife. Forests provide food and shelter for all the creatures that live in them, whether prey or predator. In this African forest, chimpanzees are enjoying all the benefits of a family life among the trees. Zoologists estimate that we share just under 99% of our genetic material with chimpanzees, so it's no surprise that they behave like us in many ways. With hands much like our own, chimps can even turn a twig into an improvised eating utensil. This troop's spending a typical day foraging on the forest floor for nuts and leaves, the fruits of the forest. But don't let all this leaf and insect eating fool you. Chimps are incredibly powerful animals, up to 7 times stronger than we are. And behind their complex communication and sophisticated social skills, there's a wild animal with primal instincts. But like us, chimps have the ability to work together and use strategy to achieve their goals. Something has changed this group's mood. The exuberant hoots and calls have stopped, and they've all fallen silent. A few of the more experienced chimps form into a small gang and break away from the rest of the family. They head off along a forest trail, scanning the canopy above. They're searching for food. This forest bears another kind of fruit. A group of colobus monkeys are foraging in the treetops. Light and agile, the colobus leap from tree to tree. They're built for life in a high canopy, crossing any gaps with ease. Chimps have a much heavier build and can't leap between trees. Instead, they laboriously swing from branch to branch. It seems unlikely that they could ever catch a colobus. But the chimps have formed into a hit squad, and each member will play a specific role in a strategic assault. Can their intelligence tip the balance? The first chimp up the tree is known as the driver. His job is to unsettle the colobus troop and drive them through the canopy. As the colobus spot the approaching chimp, they gather their young and get ready to move. Further down the forest track, an older, experienced chimp known as the ambusher is on the move. His role is to find a hiding place ahead of the fleeing colobus. Meanwhile, The rest of the gang are getting into position. The blockers make themselves conspicuous to the colobus, channeling them towards the ambusher and making sure they don't break out of the chimp's trap. This is a well-rehearsed and precise attack. The chimps first isolate and then surround the colobus, leaving it only one way out. The rest of the group wait expectantly on the forest floor. The chasers are the last hunters to move into position. Once a monkey has been cut off from the rest of the troop, the chimp's plan of attack really begins to come together. Some scientists believe that chimps don't need meat in their diet, and they don't have to hunt, just like us. As the colobus gets more desperate, she climbs higher into the treetops to escape the chimps that are closing in fast. After several narrow escapes, this mother and her baby have become separated with a big gap dividing them, too far for the young colobus to jump. The chasers are about to make their first kill of the day. As the mother waits for her youngster to make the jump, she finds herself trapped, staring her killer in the face. She makes a last desperate attempt to defend herself and her baby. The hit squads lost their kill to the rest of the family waiting on the ground below, so they turn their attention to the snack-sized youngster. Chimpanzees may not be the most agile primates around, but their superior intelligence and group strategy means they are supremely built for the kill. Coming up, watch real-life gremlins in the forest, stare into the face of a killer cat, follow an aerial dogfight, and get up close with big hairy spiders. Sundown plunges the African forest into darkness. Moonlight casts a cold light through the dense foliage. Eerie, childlike wails cut through the din of busy insect nightlife. Through the trees, a strange furry creature makes vast leaps between branches. These are lesser bush babies, Tiny, spring-loaded primates as small as 15 centimeters, just 6 inches long. Their huge night-sight eyes can penetrate the blackness of the forest. Bush babies may be small and look cute, but they spell big trouble for insects. These pint-sized predators are thoroughly tooled up for night stalking. Leaps of around 6 meters, that's almost 20 feet, are easily accomplished. The muscles in the bush baby's hind legs make up as much as 10% of their body weight. These jumps are the equivalent of an average man clearing about 72 meters or 236 feet in a single bound. It's an efficient way of moving through their territories. They can cover a lot of ground in a single night. Another tract of forest and another pair of sharp eyes are scanning the trees for prey. Slightly bigger, but no less voracious, is the greater bush baby. All bush babies seem to be very inquisitive creatures, exploring the forest to investigate its noises and movements. Among this little killer's best assets are its fantastic eyes. They can spot prey in the black of the forest night some 4.5 meters, 15 feet away. Its eyes are massive in relation to its size and can't move in their sockets. Behind the retina, a reflective surface bounces light back a second time, improving the bush baby's night vision. This stick insect may be just too large to handle. As well as their amazing eyes, bush babies also have strong gripping hands and feet that hold them firm on the thinnest of branches. Rubbing urine on their hands and feet makes their grip even firmer, rather like a gymnast rubbing chalk dust on their hands. Bush babies have other fantastic senses at their disposal. Their hearing is pin-drop sensitive. Each ear can move independently, helping them pinpoint the source of a sound. To our untrained ears, the nocturnal forest is like a wall of noise. But sifting through the busy forest sounds, the bush baby's ears can distinguish the fluttering of an individual insect's wings from the mush of numerous other noises. Having identified a suitable target, the hunter makes its way towards its prey. A moth fluttering. This is a bush baby's hearing crystal. Maneuvering each ear independently helps it to calculate direction and distance to the prey. Their tails are often longer than their bodies and work like rudders in mid-air. The bush baby's leaps have to be deadly accurate. Using its long legs for added leverage, it makes the jump and finds the juicy moth. The hungry bush baby will forage this strip of forest throughout the night, looking for nutritious insect prey. In short, a bush baby is an insect's worst nightmare. In this forest cloaked in darkness, these tiny primates are formidable predators. All cats are carnivores. They're made for hunting, built for the kill in every way. Their teeth are shaped to stab and tear through flesh, delivering fatal bites and dispatching prey speedily. Cats are legendary stealth predators, stalking their prey, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Killing feline style has created some of nature's most spectacular ways to die. But all this brute power and speed is not much use in the forest. Here, the rules of engagement are different. If you go down to the woods today, there's a very different kind of cat on the prowl. This one takes it slowly. It has cunning on its side and a very fancy line in ears. There's not much that escapes these sharp-sighted eyes either. Lynx have soft fur pads on the base of their paws. These help them to walk in deep snow and muffle their footsteps on the crunchy forest floor. The lynx's strategy is simple but effective. Be in the right place at the right time. And this cat has sacrificed the feline weapon of speed for a limpid leaping ability. Even if it doesn't always end with a kill. But in the system calculation gives straight chance none. The lynx does have a beast to give chase. This and helpless as they look, their speed and zigzagging track makes them incredibly hard to catch. This is harder than it looks. Split-second timing is absolutely essential for success. This time, he doesn't put a paw wrong. He's in the right place at the right time, ready to surprise the rabbit. It's quickly dispatched with a bite to the neck. Focus, anticipation, and precise judgment are the lynx's lethal assets, making them specialist rabbit killers. And even birds in flight are fair game. lynx needs to eat a rabbit a day. So it can't afford to miss too often. This killer cat is built for the challenges of hunting in dense forest undergrowth. North America. There is an unlikely predator at work here. Believe it or not, these are the hands of a killer. A masked bandit. An outlaw with tricks up its sleeve that make it one of the most adaptable of all forest hunters. Raccoons are very inquisitive, and they constantly use their sensitive hands and noses to investigate any possibility of a meal. It seems no part of the forest is off limits to the versatile raccoon. They'll eat just about anything. They're one of nature's dustbins, and they'll search just about anywhere to find food. Raccoon true opportunists, no stone is left unturned in search. Anything that can be eaten will be eaten, but they're not expert of any one prey, which can have its drawbacks. Using their incredibly dexterous hands, they can even search underwater for clams or shellfish. This is a very skillful task. But they don't always get away scot-free. And if there are no eggs to steal, they may just go for the easy option, carrion. There's a more courageous side to this versatile bandit's character. They don't always go for the easiest meal, and although the experience can be painful, live food is always on the menu. Raccoons aren't specialists, but their acuteness of touch, their dexterity, and their social curiosity means that opportunist bandits are among the most successful killers in the forest. Next on Built for the Kill, venture into a forest beneath the sea where a serial killer is on the loose. Return to dry land to watch an all-out aerial attack and see the nasty side of some familiar forest faces. There is a forest of giant plants that stretches along the Pacific coast of North America, in a band covering an area up to 1 mile or 1.5 kilometers wide. But this is no ordinary forest. It can grow faster than other forests to 100 feet, that's 30 meters, within only 2 years. And it lies beneath the crushing waves of the Pacific surf. This is the giant kelp forest. Like all forests, this one is full of life. From the high canopy, right down to the crowded seabed. Down here, there are plenty of abalone, crabs, sea urchins, and other prey. Rich pickings for any predator able to dive this deep. Sea otters are built to reach these hunting grounds beneath thousands of tons of water. In between dives, they feed on the surface, wrapped in the kelp to stop themselves from drifting away in the strong currents. These otters are real sea dogs, spending almost all their lives at sea and only rarely coming ashore. But it's underwater that sea otters really show how well they're adapted to life at sea. With powerful strokes of their large webbed feet and undulations of their streamlined bodies, they swim much faster underwater, reaching nearly 6 miles, that's 9 kilometers per hour. Sea otter eyes are like cat's eyes, well adapted for low-light conditions. And they can bring their vision into sharp focus above and below the water, essential for their marine lifestyle. Abalone are sea otter favorites, but they cling on with such force that it takes repeated dives to break their grip. But the otter's paws are very dexterous, equipped with retractable claws that can winkle crabs from crevices or prize shellfish from strong footholds. The otters must wrestle with shellfish over 100 feet or 30 meters down. To perform this astonishing task, sea otters have lungs that are twice as big as those of a similarly sized land mammal. Their bodies can even absorb excess carbon dioxide as it builds up during a dive. These otters are able to stay underwater for as long as 4 minutes. Isn't that long to find both prey and a blunt instant. And it's crucial for the surface when you still have oxygen left for the return journey. Once back topside, the otter sets to work pummeling the prey with its improvised nutcracker. Lying on their backs, the otters make it look easy. But they perform this fantastic feat of endurance over and over again. They must eat as much as 25% of their own body weight every day just to keep their energy levels high enough to protect them from the cold waters of the kelp forest. That's like an average man eating almost 19 kilos or 42 pounds of food a day. These otters are built for serial killing in extreme conditions. You need specialized eyesight, dexterous paws, and excellent diving skills to survive in the Pacific kelp forest. All forests demand very specialized kinds of hunters. There are so many places to hide, behind the trees and among the shadows. So some forest killers use height to spot their victims. With fantastic agility, the goshawk swoops through the dense forest, skillfully guiding its wingspan between the branches. This bird has killer stamped all over it. These predatory eyes could only belong to a hunter. And they've witnessed the last moments of many victims. How does this bird do it? And why is it so good at killing? The goshawk's strategy is to hide itself in the trees, scanning for any movement just beyond the forest edge. The goshawk is the perfect in-flight predator, maintaining total focus on the hunt ahead. This hawk has mastered split-second timing. Using its broad wings, it makes rapid, sharp turns before finally stalling itself at just the right time to make the kill. Goshawks are nature's fighter aces, true masters of aerial combat, with hundreds of kills to their name. When the hawk drops to attack, tendons spread its feet. Upon impact, the toes automatically clench and drive the talons deep, not to kill, just to hold their prey down. Death does not always come quickly. Down in the forests of Central America, there are all kinds of terrifying predators. This is Nightmare Central. There are venomous spiders the size of your hand. And they don't come any scarier than this well-armed, multi-limbed killer. These hairy legs are highly sensitive. The fine hairs pick up even the smallest air disturbances caused by movement nearby. This is a warning, a threat display to would-be attackers. And it's no empty gesture. The tarantula's fangs are every bit as dreadful as they look. They're hollow and inject flesh-melting venom into the victim's bloodstream. No wonder the tarantula kills with ease. This coati is on its way down to the forest floor to look for food in the leaf litter. Their keen noses aren't just for show. They help the coatis to find plenty of good things to eat. They seem to know all the best foraging places and hotspots where they're sure to find rich pickings. Not much puts a hungry coati off his food, and some furious digging soon unearths a forest delicacy. Tarantula is on today's menu. Few creatures are willing to tackle a tarantula. it takes a very special kind of skill. First, rub your spider to get rid of all those irritating hairs. This can take a while, but it doesn't pay to hurry such a dangerous maneuver. Finally, it's time to eat. All this commotion has not gone unnoticed by the resident capuchin population, and the rules of the forest mean that killers can become victims. These capuchins are no ordinary monkeys, they're killer monkeys. They've spotted a solitary coati mother and her young. She won't let them near her nest, defending it vigorously. These capuchins won't mess with an adult coati. After all, they're strong and can pack a good bite. The monkeys regroup and wait for their next opportunity. Their attack has unsettled the coati. She decides to move her babies to another nest, which is her big mistake. One that will prove fatal for the baby she has left undefended. As soon as the coati is out of sight, the killers move in. They have only a small window of time in which to strike. The coati pup's mother could return at any time. But their victim is helpless. It's easy pickings. A baby coati is barely able to see, let alone defend itself. The coati mother can only look on. It's too late. Monkey business with a macabre twist. Being built for the kill doesn't mean you're immune from attack. The coati's wrong decision had dire consequences. To us, the rules of the wild seem cruel. But in the forest, the balance of life depends on eating what you can, when you can. Keep watching to see what happens when this slippery customer takes to the trees. Deep in a South American forest, a boa constrictor is on the move. In India, the other side of the world, a python is also on the prowl. Although separated by oceans and continents, these exotic killers are virtually identical, both in appearance and hunting techniques. They move by pushing their bodies along ridges of muscle that ripple over their entire length. Rather than depending on its eyesight, this snake relies heavily on its acute sense of smell to navigate. And what the snake lacks in normal vision is more than made up for by heat-sensitive pits located along each side of its face. These build a thermal picture that allows the snake to track warm-blooded prey. Forests are full of hiding places, hundreds of nooks, crannies, and shadowy recesses on every level. It's almost like a city of skyscrapers. But this is no problem for pythons and boas. They can hunt anywhere in the forest. Like many forest animals, this boa is a good climber. Its entire muscular body clings to trees and branches like a giant finger. Back in India, the python has picked up the telltale odor of prey. It's on the trail. As it darts its tongue out, the two forks pick up particles of scent. The unmistakable aroma of chicken hangs in the air. When your tongue is as sensitive as a python's, the forest floor is like a spaghetti junction of trails. Even high up in the trees, birds are not safe from the boa. Following the scent trails, the python searches for a way into the coop. And although these chickens may never have seen a snake before, they know it spells danger. In South America, these birds are perched on branches barely thick enough to support their weight. But the boa's so strong that it can reach out to within striking distance. Its mouth is packed with needle-sharp teeth. The constrictors loop their body around the prey, sealing its fate once and for all. They won't loosen their grip until they feel the victim stop moving. Each time the prey breathes out, the snake tightens its coils, literally squeezing the air out of the bird's lungs. The victim passes out and is on its way to the snake's stomach. These snakes can breathe even when their mouth is full, thanks to the specialized design of their windpipe. The process is a slow one. A chicken dinner takes quite a while to finish. The rules of the forest are so strict that two snakes from different continents have had to adopt the same strategy. Agility, strength, and stealth combined with keen senses make the perfect killer. Every day, forest creatures play deadly games of hide and seek. Some kill, others are killed. In this three-dimensional hunting ground, predators and prey must constantly adapt. Only by meeting the challenges of this cluttered and shadowy world can they remain built for the kill.